wisdom teachers, gentle healers, and bold leaders of our global awakening. Welcome to the Joshua Jordan Experience. Listen to gather mystical insights for an extraordinary life. Hello. Today I want to talk to you about something that can become a challenge to wrap our minds around. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine and talking about subjects that he might want to hear about from Joshua, and he asked some interesting questions. So I thought I would go ahead and delve into one of those today. He asked me, since Joshua has never been a human, since he hasn't incarnated into a lifetime, how is it that he has any grasp on what it is like to try to incorporate oneness into being human, into having a life experience? And what he started to tell me, I found very interesting, and it dovetails into the subject of multidimensional existence. So that's where I'm going to go today. So let me begin by saying, yes, Joshua as an entity is way too expensive to incarnate into just one lifetime. As you know, it's like trying to put 5 pounds of flour in a 1 pound bag. It just won't fit. So, what Joshua's experience of being human is like, I will share with you in that he is the source of souls. So, he is in every soul he creates. Joshua exists. These souls then create lifetimes that live upon the planet, scattered throughout time and space. Geographical regions change, faces and names change, and yet a soul may have as many as Joshua says, like 10 to 15 lifetimes that are all happening at once. So the baby souls, for lack of a better term, only have like 3 or 4 lifetimes to manage in time and space, while the more advanced souls, so to speak, can have more than that. Now, so Joshua is the source of souls. He exists in every one of these souls as Joshua. And yet, each of the souls are not quite enough to hold all of what Joshua is. So he's created thousands of souls. And these lifetimes have, these souls have multiple lifetimes. Now, the souls that Joshua creates create lifetimes, and therefore, those lifetimes not really contain, carry with them the soul that is created by Joshua. Therefore, Joshua is in every lifetime that his souls experience. Multidimensional being can open our eyes to what human potential really is. You see, Joshua, while being an entity, is also a soul and is also a spirit. So therefore, even though his whole self wouldn't fit into one lifetime, he is connected to thousands of lifetimes that have occurred. So he is familiar with those lifetimes. He knows their human challenges. Joshua is aware of my lifetime as he is the source of the soul that created my spirit, right? So While Joshua is not living my lifetime, I am. I have free will and I can live my life the way I choose. Joshua is experiencing everything I experience. And now I want to branch out from talking about Joshua and look at the source of all that is. The source of all that is created creators. The source of all that is created deities, and deities create worlds. Some deities create solar systems. Some deities create galaxies. So the deities created by the one source are the source itself, creating manifestations that we can see in a 3D world, like planets and solar systems and people. Now, in our multidimensional existence, and I apologize if I'm kind of rambling today, but as you can see, I'm not working with any script or any notes. I just want to talk to you about how Joshua can be so well informed about the truth of human nature, even though he's never been directly human, and yet he's indirectly thousands of humans. So just like if you look at a layer cake, let's say, to start talking about multiple dimensions, let's say that first layer is our 3D world. Now, I'm not trying to stratify this. I don't want it to look like some layers are higher or better than. No, all the layers are different and equal. So being 3D is not lesser than being in the astral dimension. So let's talk about the fact that there are actually multiple astral dimensions with their own framework of what can occur within that dimension. Same thing applies, of course, to our life on Earth. There are limits into what we can experience as human beings, because to manifest here, we agreed to play within the framework of the physical dimension. You know, I once had a student who was a beautiful, brilliant person, and she wanted to prove her ability to create her own reality by walking through a physical wall. And she kept talking to Joshua about this. She kept saying, why can't I walk through the wall? This is my reality, and physical space is just space, and it's light taking shape, and it's all an illusion. Why can't I just walk through the wall? And Joshua did his best to tell her, first of all things are possible. So if it is truly what you want to do, you can create it. Yet, the framework of physical reality will not permit it. So when you agreed to live as a human being on the planet, you also agreed to the notions of physical reality. So the wall itself has consciousness, and its consciousness is integral. In other words, integral. Uh, it has its own reality that it is maintaining as a wall. And as a wall, other physical objects do not pass through it unless they are propelled by force, some type of energy that would allow for a breakthrough in that wall's own integrity of being solid. I know this can sound confusing. Maybe I'm getting off the subject a little bit, but Joshua is telling this student that yes, you can walk through walls. However, it is acceptable in your dimension called dream state. It's also acceptable in some astral dimensions, but not all of them. Isn't that interesting? So my friend who wanted to live a physical 3D reality with a lifetime, but also decided the way to prove she creates her own reality was to walk through a physical wall, did not get the proof she was seeking. So when you live within a dimension, you operate within its framework, within its rules. So my friend, learning to create her own reality, didn't get the proof she wanted by being able to walk through a physical wall. However, Joshua assured her she can walk through all of the walls she wants in dimensions where the physical is more mutable, like dream state. And there are certain levels of astral dimensions that also have dream-like characteristics where she could walk through walls as much as she wants to. But when it comes down to this 3D, walking through a wall is an illusion you do not accept. And the wall itself has its own purpose, meaning, and integrity. There's consciousness in every atom. Now, that's another interesting thing about if you go into micro space, when you're trying to look for the tiniest particles that exist, once you get beyond the quarks and some other subatomic partial particles, even the electrons circling the protons of the atoms are now viewed more as an energy wave rather than an actual particle. Is an electron an actual particle? Well, it only materializes when pinpointed. That's another interesting thing about our physical reality, is that it exists when you look at it, but it blinks in and out of existence so quickly. The eyes cannot catch that. So let's talk about the multiple dimensions of the source itself. So the source, as I said, created these deities, and these deities create planets and universes and humans and places to manifest all that they know about reality, all that they know about what could be possible. And they create us to go out and explore and experience all that is. So Joshua is connected to thousands. Boy, I just can't stress that enough. The number he gives me is astronomical. But Joshua is connected to an ample number of humans through the souls he has created, that he really does understand what it is like to live a human existence, even though he's not done it himself. So I talked a little bit about multidimensional existence, and I've wanted to share that with you for some time, and yet none of it really matters when it comes down to our ability to live our oneness. So even though Joshua has never actually felt what it is like to walk upon the earth, to feel the confines of a body, he has studied humankind and human nature since time began here. And he has learned what it takes to, well, to be human, what it's like, how separate and alone it can feel. And yet he wants to connect us back to the parts of ourselves that are never separated from the whole. Even though your physical body appears to be separate from the whole, it is not. For the atoms that make up your body are filled with the consciousness that creates all that is, and you can never be separate from that. Yes, atoms have consciousness. You know, one of the more interesting things I learned a long time, like this back in the 70s when I was reading Seth books, is that Seth also talks about the fact that atoms have within them a particle, so to speak, something that we have yet to find, called a consciousness. And I find it quite fascinating that quantum physicists and those in quantum mechanics are involved in trying to define, locate what they're calling the God particle that creates the atom. What gives the atom the energy it has, such that its electron can spin at light speed? What? What could possibly be creating that energy? Where does it come from? Because as you know, energy itself cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. It can only change form. Underneath the smallest particles that our science has found dwells consciousness. And that is the energy within everything. So, how about I step aside now and let Joshua talk to you? Hello, beloved one. I am honored, and it is my joy to talk to you today. Speaking about my abilities to know what it is like to be a human and to live a human lifetime is a fascination, I think, for some people. And as Jordan explained, I have thousands of lifetimes, and yet I can't really fit into any one of them with my total consciousness. It would be so impossible for one human lifetime to contain all that I am. So thousands of lifetimes are needed to express Joshua on earth. Joshua on earth. Yes, I am present with you in your physical dimension, and yet I am beyond that at the same time. I have heard Jordan use this expression to help people get a better image of what that might be like. So he says to people, while I am dancing on the stage, I am watching from the balcony. And this is a great deal of what it is like to be an entity. For while you are acting out your lifetime on the global stage, I observe you. I connect with you. I energize and give life to the souls that give life to you and energize you. I cannot be separated from the humans that are manifest on this planet through the souls I have created. I am human in nature, and I am nature. You see in your multidimensional being something Jordan didn't touch on today, but knows it well and talks about it in details. You are connected to animal life, mineral life, elements, everything within nature. And each of you has your own particular attraction to the animals that are connected to your soul. So, in Jordan's experience of reality, it has become evident to him that his soul is connected to bald eagles and birds in general, but bald eagles he is most attracted to, and also Jordan's animal beings. There is wolf. There is a great deal of wolf. And that is another reason why he is capable of working in groups, teamwork, and also that he is able to be alone, the lone wolf, sometimes taking off on its own journey, leaving the pack. He is also connected to whales and therefore loves swimming, water, singing. So you see, there are animals in your environment that you feel naturally drawn toward, that express who you are somehow within nature. And these animals are also drawn to you because you express them in ways that in their animal life is limited. So you cannot be separated from the animal beings, and also the same thing as stones or gems or certain rocks. You may feel very much drawn to a certain type of stone or gem. You know, maybe you love all kinds of gemstones, but there's one or two that particularly resonate with your energy body. You will know them when you hold, and you know them when you see them. These are good stones for you to hold, good gems for you to wear or hold on to. Jordan just drew my attention to the fact that he is wearing onyx. And it is not a stone that he was naturally drawn to. However, a gemologist allowed him to realize the benefits of wearing the onyx. However, he would say a gemstone he is naturally attracted to is amethyst, of course, for its properties of psychic channeling, fits perfectly with who he is. So I'm trying to tell you that you are not only human being, you are animal being, you are mineral being, you are element. There is some element that attracts you more than others. And there are only the four elements. So it's easy to start finding your field. So even though Jordan was born under a sun sign that is earth, he's most attracted to water. Water. Because water displays the principles and properties of the mind, in which he is very fluid, capable of a great deal of understanding. So you can identify the animals, the minerals, the elements that express who you are in nature. The plants, the flowers. Perhaps there is a particular plant or flower you are attracted to, or a tree that says, who I am in this world. And isn't it interesting? There is something called the Joshua tree, and yet it is not something I am drawn to naturally. Giant sequoia, I am that. Now, all of these things, every animal, every element, every mineral, I am that too. And yet, while I am living a particular lifetime and I am translating spirit into manifestation, I am manifesting in a bandwidth that I can handle as one lifetime. Therefore, I am that too. I am all that is, and all that is dwells in me as me. And yet, to live a human existence and walk upon the earth, you narrow the scope of your energy essence. And therefore, as you are channeling spirit into manifestation, you are not responsible for manifesting all that is. We leave that to the source that created it all. However, you participate in manifesting some of what is by through the animals, minerals, elements that are you on earth. Now I'm hoping that some of this has made sense to you. Jordan wants to share a story with you, and I am ready to conclude my comments. I love you all with a compassion that is deeper than the ocean, with a heart as big as the world. How I love you. I am here for you. You may call my name at any time, and I will answer you. This is my promise. I joyfully bid you good day. Mm. Mm. Thank you, Joshua. So yeah, well, Joshua was talking about our connection to animals. I remembered, I had a rememory of something that happened to me years ago that I shall always remember. So when I was writing the Seventh Major Understanding, I spent a lot of time over writing that book. And I went on a retreat, a silent retreat, all by myself into a part of the Oregon desert where I don't spend a great deal of time usually. And I rented a house, and I was in this big house all by myself. And it had these beautiful views of the canyon and a river. And the balcony, the deck was just perfect. Anyway, I was sitting inside and I had the laptop out on the table. I was writing. And suddenly I felt drawn to look out the window. And there, rising up out of the canyon, were these bald eagles. And one of them, of course, to get out of the canyon, they were catching air drifts and circling about. And I watched them for quite a while, but then suddenly recognized that if I ran, and I did run, I was younger then. I ran out of the house and stood in the middle of this street, and one of the bald eagles flew right over my head, and it seemed like it was so close I could just reach out and touch it. It was huge. The wingspan was amazing. I would estimate at least 8 to 10 feet. And the bird was beautiful, majestic, powerful, and catching a draft and continuing on to soar higher and higher. As you know, eagles don't really circle. They're not scavengers. They're not looking for dead carrion. They're uh, they're hunters. They're raptors. They're fishermen. Anyway, The bald eagle is something I'm quite attracted to. Some of you may have even noticed it over there on the shelf. I have a photo of a bald eagle rising up out of a river. And I have some other little items over there. I hope they don't distract much because, I'm hoping you're paying attention to me. I love you all, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks for your time and your attention. I do want to say I appreciate you coming here, and I would be so grateful if you'd hit that like button, that thumbs up. It does a lot for the channel, helps the algorithm find us more easily. And if you would subscribe, I would be so grateful. You see, it costs you nothing, and you just get alerts about when I put out a video. So we won't be pestering you if you subscribe, don't you worry. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you for listening. We hope you heard something to ponder and gained inspiration for your journey. Please join us again next time. Joshua says, let the light grow, let love show, and let your life be fun.